Scene 1. We meet Cliff. Fade up. Establishing shot day, 1930s high-rise. Push in, window. Cut to interior day office. Cliff, a middle-aged man, in a white shirt, unbuttoned at the top, with a loosely knotted tie. His office is unkempt, clothes and liquor bottles everywhere. An overflowing ashtray sits on his desk. He stares out the window behind him.
It had been a hard night. We lost 3 officers last night. They had turned and, in orderly and precise fashion, popped each other in the brain pan. Bang. 1 shot apiece. They had the crown like wet rag dolls.
Over the shoulder, Cliff, out window.
Something strange is going on. The month had been pretty slow. One except for the museum burglary.
Medium shot, Cliff's hands as he arranges papers on the desk.
The guy had been dressed like a weirdo in some cape and robe thingy.
Medium, Cliff putting things away in a file cabinet.
He rushed into the museum at 7 p.m. during some gala.
Medium, Cliff continues putting things into the cabinet.
The gala was commemorating the museum's acquisition of a rare jewel called the Eye of Madness. They said the thing was priceless.
Medium wide, Cliff moves back to his desk.
All that means to me is that a bunch of crazies want it so they can name their own price like the guy in the cloak.
Fade out. Actually, there's no fade out there. I lied. Scene 2. Sam. There's a knock at the door. Cliff reaches for his gun.
Who is it? Yeah. I'd have normally answered it, but there was someone out to hurt cops and their associates. Couldn't be too careful.
It's me, Cliff.
Cut to close up. Hand turning doorknob. Doorknob.
Come in, Sam.
Sam Weatherby, a detective with the Innsmouth, Massachusetts Police Department, stands in Cliff's doorway. Medium 2-shot. Off the corner of Cliff's desk, Sam makes his way to a chair in front of Cliff's desk. Cliff to his chair.
Sit down. I need to talk through some things with you.
Close up, Sam.
Funny. I was about to say the same thing to you.
Over the shoulder, Cliff over Sam's shoulder.
Well, I'm going first. What do you know about the 3 officers that offed each other?
2-shot, Cliff and Sam side on.
That it's weird. Also, that's not the only weird thing that's been happening.
Over the shoulder, over Cliff to Sam.
See, there's this singer down the New Orleans, you know? That lounge on Parker?
Cliff nods.
Well, they say this dame can somehow hypnotize people.
Close up, Cliff.
So, she's that pretty, huh?
Close up, Sam.
No, not just. She actually hypnotizes them. Actually makes them do things. Theatric shit, like,
2-shot, Sam and Cliff.
Like shoot their pals in the head?
You're getting what I'm giving here.
I always.
Follow. Cliff rises from his chair and grabs his coat and hat. Sam stands.
Well, let's get down to the club then. I could use a drink.
Over the shoulder, Cliff putting on his coat to Sam.
I can't, bub. I have to get back to the real police work. I can't go chasing rabbits out of their magician hats like you can.
Angle on Cliff, poking at Sam's belly.
You can also eat 4 steaks, 4 nights. You can also eat steaks 4 nights a week.
Hey, give it a rest, will ya?
Words are hard.
Fade out. Scene 3. Something wicked this way comes. I'm going to only read stage direction from this point out rather than shots. If you want to see shots, it's in the script. We've never read shots at a table read, and it's really annoying. So, I'm going to not do that anymore.
Feel okay with it?
Scene 3. Something... I was talking to the camera. Scene 3. Something wicked this way comes. Fade up. Establishing exterior. Dusk. Jazz club. New Orleans. Cliff's car pulls into the dusty parking lot and parks. He gets out.
I knew something was up as soon as I pulled in. The lot was too full for such a dive. No one's standing around outside smoking cigarettes.
Cliff walks across the parking lot, pulling up his collar and snuggling further into his trench coat.
There was an evil chill in the air, an acrid smell of sulfur. Something was just off, like that night before old Caesar died with the meteors and the lion.
Angle on. I'm not reading shots. Cliff, as he walks into the club, stopping with the door cracked, looks back behind himself.
All the hair stood up on my neck as I walked in. I reminded myself that I had to want to be hypnotized to be hypnotized.
Cliff enters the club. It's dimly lit, a small U-shaped bar to Cliff's right. A couple doors that could be offices or broom closets or torture chambers to his left. Even now, we can see the edges of the press of people in the crowd.
This place was full of people, and I couldn't see why. The announcer was going on about a young lady who was about to take the stage by the name of Susie Nightingale. Sounded like a gimmick to me. Some dame was going to come out in a red dress with some lipstick on, and she was going to throw some curves to these boys. You get my drift. That was all the hypnotizing that was going on.
Cliff to the rest of the club. It's very small. In front of Cliff, we see a small stage and a few beat-up tables scattered about with mismatched chairs. A few booths in the corner that likely constituted a VIP section of some kind. The show was just about to start, and the place was packed.
Cliff to bar.
Yep. Cliff goes to the bar.
Okay. Give me a whiskey. Double neat.
Soda?
What do you take me for, a dame? Roby's over. We gotta make up for lost time.
The bartender just raises his hand and backs away to fix the drink. To Cliff's right, as he bellies up the bar, he sips his drink and looks around nonchalantly. He turns in his chair as the announcer announces Susie Nightingale's entrance to the stage. The lights are coming up as the most beautiful raven-haired beauty Cliff has ever seen appears.
I was wrong about the red dress. The dress seemed a perfect midnight blue, except when the light hit it just right. There was a flashing green. Her lipstick was the same perfect midnight blue. Or was it green? She wore a huge necklace with a pendant that looked like a spider or an octopus. Hell, I didn't care. She walked up to the mic.
Susie's mouth, a wicked smile beginning to Cheshire cat its way about.
A smile that knocked the socks off a statue began to curl her full pouty lips. Then the music came from everywhere.
Susie begins to sing.
He waits in the house of Ryla, Cthulhu, Lord Cthulhu, Thagan. Simply waiting for a way. Cthulhu, Lord Cthulhu, Thagan. Waiting for that faithful day.
The crowd's eyes begin to fill up with a strange light.
Cthulhu, Lord Cthulhu, Thagan. When he'll awaken, waste to lay. Cthulhu, Lord Cthulhu, Thagan.
Cliff, his back to the bar, and the bartender standing behind him, nonchalant and drying glasses.
What the hell is she singing about? Those words don't make a lick.
Cliff goes stiff on his stool, his sentence trailing off as his eyes fill with an eerie green light.
Cliff, big boy, it's time to play. Cthulhu, Lord Cthulhu, Thagan. Take that knife, you've a whole room to flay.
The bartender slides a knife across the bar. Cliff takes it without looking. He sings along with the last refrain.
Cthulhu, Lord Cthulhu, Thagan.
Cliff walks up behind the crowd, knife at the ready. Cliff begins slashing into his first victim. Susie is laughing. Cliff is killing. Fade out. Fade up. Close up of Cliff's face. The morning light is beginning to spill in from the window. Cliff is snoring softly. As we see more of Cliff, we notice that he's covered in blood, his white shirt clinging to his body in spots. Cliff starts awake. Cliff looks around dazed in the first moment between asleep and awake. He looks down at his hands horrified, notices the rest of him covered in blood. Cliff picks up the phone.
Operator, how can I help you?
Cliff just stares.
Operator, how can I help you?
Cliff slams the phone down.
No.
He rubs his face and runs his fingers through his hair.
Sam can't help me now. How do I explain this to him?
Cliff stands and begins to pace.
Hey, old buddy. I woke up covered in blood. That ain't mine, and I have no clue why. I could have killed someone's whole family. I don't know.
Cliff walks over to a closet, begins to take his clothes off to change. Cliff steps in to open the door, gun at the ready.
How do you know so much? Were you there? How are you involved?
Cliff grabs Max by his shirt collar, drags him in, throws him in a chair, slams the door. Cliff stands over Max. Max is nonchalantly straightening himself.
Well, if you're cooler with the manhandling, I'll tell you. My name is Max Balaam. I'm called, in the circles I traverse, the The barrier.
What circles? The barrier.
Supernatural circles. I prevent things from moving forward, from happening.
What kind of things?
Like things like that thing that happened to you last night.
Sam jumps on Max, yanks him up out of the chair. Cliff has Max by the lapels again, right in his face.
You're gonna tell me everything you know, and you're gonna tell me now, damn it.
I'm trying to, but you keep shaking me around like a gorilla with a rag doll.
Max, as he stands, puts a hand on Cliff's shoulder.
Maybe you should have a sit down, yeah?
Cliff shrugs Max off.
I think it's best you should. You should sit down and tell me what is going on, if you like your head being connected to your shoulders.
Max turns to the desk and plops down on it.
Fine. Fine. Cool your motor there, Teddy Roosevelt. It all has to do with the old ones, a cult called the House of Riley. Started operating here around town. That's where all this weird mumbo-jumbo's coming from.
Wait, House of Riley. That dame last night at the club, she started singing about that before
Before you skinned a whole room full of people alive.
I did that?
Hey man, don't come at me again. It ain't your fault. You didn't know what you was doing.
You trying to convince me I was hypnotized, that she put some kind of voodoo on me and caused me to bathe in people's blood? Look, pal, some of your weirdo friends struck me up, poured pig's blood on me, and is trying to scare me. I want to know who.
Max sits down again.
Trying to tell you who. The House of Riley. I have personal experience with them.
Max rolls up his shirt sleeve and his arm is marked with the same octopod shape Cliff saw in the jazz singer's necklace the night before.
The dame, last night she was wearing that thing as a necklace.
Bet you're wearing it somewhere too.
Max gets up and starts lifting Cliff's shirt and such.
What's the big idea?
Calm down, man's man. I ain't trying to fairy cake you. Just looking for something. Bingo.
Bingo what?
Max steers Cliff to a mirror in his open closet. On Cliff's ribcage, where there is a fresh black kraken mark, red around the edges where whatever put it there irritated his skin. Cliff is still examining his mark in the mirror.
You could have done that while I was out. What is it, some tattoo or something?
I could have, but I didn't. Tell me your own paranoia wouldn't have caused a person breaking into this room to be shot before they crossed the threshold. Even if you were drugged, I knocked on the door rather than just walking in. How did that make sense if I'd done that to you? I'm here to help.
Max, back to chair where he slumps down.
Believe me or don't, but if you don't, do what I had to do. You'll be the zombie by sundown.
Max's arm, we can now see that there's an angry-looking scar that spans the distance of the octopus tattoo on his forearm.
So you want me to split open my side?
Max shrugs.
Hey man, it's your funeral. You do what you gotta do. If you want to be kissing the feet of demons by 8, be my guest. You've about worn out my patience with your macho machismo. I tend to be a little less manly than you big strong types.
What exactly are we cutting out of me?
Max closes the distance between he and Cliff inhumanly fast. Max pushes on Cliff's side.
You feel? I'm sorry.
Feel that?
Max rolls something around below the skin. Cliff, while Max is still rolling something around under his skin, jumps and backs away.
What the hell is that?
Well, it isn't in hell anymore. It's in your side. And we gotta get it out. I promise you, if we don't find something very similar to this,
Max's hand pulling a small figurine from his pocket and holding it out in his hand.
you can use this.
Max holding out Cliff's gun. Cliff reaches to his shoulder holster where he thought the gun was. Nothing. Max smiles, holding up a German stiletto switchblade knife.
Let's get that out. Then let's visit the museum where all this started. Well, this time anyway.
Fade out. Scene 5, A Night at the Museum. Fade up. The Innsmouth Museum of Natural History and Archaeology is expansive in stone with high Gothic architecture. Max and Cliff are standing at the bottom of the entrance stairs as their cab pulls away. They exchange a quick look and walk in. It is dusk. Max and Cliff walk through an exhibit headed up by a night watchman with a flashlight. They near a huge exhibit with a green symbol. It is a triangle with a vortex and an eye inside, and surrounded by